Well, hello everyone. Um, so I'm making this video in response to the announcement that was put out by our by Ms. Register on behalf of our Chancellor, our Vice Chancellor, that is, Dr. Lance Tatum, our basically Provost, Chief Academic Officer. You have by now probably seen this announcement, which states that all of our classes are being um, basically transitioned to alternative delivery platforms effective March 16th. So today, Friday the 13th of March, this would be the last school day that is off due to spring break. I can't say it's the last day of spring break since we still have the weekend before us. But this basically is saying that Monday, starting Monday, there are no in-person classes to be held in person, that they need to be held either online or via other alternative delivery formats. All right, so I guess this is basically telling all of you not to show up to class on Monday. So I'm not going to contradict any of that, obviously. This is the decision that our administrators and so on, the chief academic officer, and presumably some of the other high up management people at the university have made. And they're doing this obviously with the intention of keeping all of you reasonably healthy, or as healthy as we can manage. They're trying to help you to not catch this Chinese coronavirus. So what are we going to do for the general physics class? And I'm specifically making this to address the general physics courses, the two actual lecture courses that I have on campus. The labs, the solution will look a little different than for the lectures. Basically, what I propose to do is this. You all have access via Canvas to your these lecture notes in PDF form, my lecture notes for the semester. What we would have been doing on Monday, had we met in class, is we would have been starting this lecture set 7 on magnetism. And in fact, we would have been working our way through part 1, the particle in a magnetic field. So here's the part of your book that you should be reading. Here's the part of your notes that we would have been going through. And this probably ultimately would have been either 1 or 2 days worth of class. I would say that I would like to, given that we're transitioning to a format that many of you are probably not familiar with, I would like to take it easy on the first day. And so I guess Monday and Wednesday, you all should be working through part 1. Now I will try to release a schedule on Canvas, perhaps in the announcements. I'll at least point you to the schedule of what you should be doing each day to stay caught up, as if we were going through these in class. Now, you've probably noticed, and I'll go ahead and pull Canvas up here. Most of you have found long since the modules, which have these notes in them. But as a reminder for anybody who hasn't been doing this, here's where your modules are. Here's where your lecture sets are. We would be here, lecture set 7. This is your notes. These 3 links are for slide shares. So you can go here and it will open up a YouTube video. I don't want it to play though. It'll open up a YouTube video that is basically my slide share of this. So let's turn that off. You can watch that on your own time. You see this is about an hour and 13 minutes. What you're going to actually want to do probably is either watch this in real time over 2 days, or maybe watch it on Monday. And you can always come here to the settings and put it at faster speed so it's a little shorter, and go back and rewatch the parts that you're confused on. There should be towards the end of it, right around here. There we are. So right in here, I work through an example for you. So you might want to go through this example a couple of times. And that's what we'll do instead of class on on Monday. And I'll release a schedule basically pointing you at which of these lecture sets and parts should you be working through. I'll release the quiz as usual. I would expect to be done with at least lecture set 8 and possibly well into lecture set 9 by the time classes resume, assuming that we are in fact going to resume on April 6th. Okay, so I'll try to make a reasonable schedule for you for that. Now, I apologize that this is what we have to work with. There's not much more I can do than provide these for you. Obviously, you have my email, so you can contact me via email. Unless the university actually closes down, I do intend to be on campus some of the time and to hold some sort of office hours. Now, what that will actually look like, I don't know yet. My department is holding a meeting in which we're going to discuss what our policies all will be for this time. If I am not forbidden to hold office hours, then I will hold them. If I'm told, no, don't have office hours, and even if I am not told that, what we may try doing is there's these conferences option in Canvas. And I've not really used this option before, so there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me as well as for all of you. But we may try to use the conference thing to hold sort of virtual office hours. Maybe those will be the same time as the regular class. Maybe they'll be, maybe if this works out nicely, I can give partial lectures and some examples and whatnot for you via this conference option. So let's not do that on Monday, obviously, because I won't know what the department policies for how we're going to handle this are as of yet. So I will update you guys again when we've had that meeting. Suffice it to say, all of my Monday office hours are canceled anyway, just because we may still be meeting and we won't know what the policies are. But you can still reach me via email. Tuesday, I wouldn't have had classes or office hours anyway, so that day also will be, nothing. But by the end of Monday or Tuesday, I should have something posted with further instructions. Maybe we could try this conferences thing for Wednesday if people are interested. All right, so this leaves for us the question of how do you resolve the various assignments to answer. So two of the four things are relatively easy to resolve. On the one hand, we have our homework assignments, which were all due at the end of the semester and which are all online anyway. Those obviously will not be affected by this announcement or by this policy. Those are all still due on the same day at the end of the semester, unless you're told otherwise. by me. The quizzes, likewise, will not be really affected by this. Maybe a minor change, which is that instead of being told in class, today we're done with this lecture set, look for the quiz, you'll just have to look for the announcement for the quiz and pay attention to the schedule that we're following. All right, so that's the quizzes and that's the homeworks. Participation may be a little bit tricky to figure out how to do. You know, we're no longer meeting in class with iClickers. We may just not have participation grade for this part of the semester. You know, we do have plenty of participation points from the first half of the semester, and we're getting roughly a quarter of the semester when we come back. You know, we have almost the entire month of April, or let's say 3 weeks in April. So I don't think the participation grade will be tremendously affected by this. It may be that what I do is put some poll questions or something like that up for you guys during this time that can sort of count as participation. For the test, that's the one that really is going to be messed up by all this, because there isn't a very good way for us to do exams the way that I've been doing them for the past 5.5 years, and the way that you guys have been doing them with me. Obviously, we can still do the short answer part of the test. That's basically unaffected by this policy. The last short answer one you did on your own. It wasn't proctored. We dealt with it by having a very large quiz pool. I didn't see any irregularities there. It seems to have worked out okay. As you can see, I've basically got it set up so that you can take the short answer part of the second exam. The third exam would have been held after we all come back anyway, so I don't think that one will be affected. It's really the second exam that we got to figure out. And we could still do the short answer part, and in fact I could even add a multiple choice part to it that you could do online, although that will take a little bit of working on my part. I don't see any practical way for you to do the long answer portion, and especially not the Fermi problem, without doing them on pen and paper. And frankly, I think that part has to be proctored in some way. So there are a few different things that we could do to make that happen. I'm not going to worry about it too much until I've had this meeting with the rest of my colleagues tomorrow. If worse comes to worse, you'll have an exam that has these short answer portions, and as you can see, this right here is the only part that I haven't populated that would have been on yours, and this right here I'm still working on. There's plenty of questions to go around. I don't really have to worry too much about proctoring this one, because you guys are all going to have unique individual tests. You're not all going to have the same test as a result of these pools being so large. I think that's a wrap for now for this first announcement. Please stay tuned for another announcement sometime Monday after I've had that meeting, in which I can lay out all the specifics of the policies that we end up coming up with. In the meantime, stay healthy and be in touch.